Right, sun's out, but it's bloody freezing. It's only about 3 degrees at the moment. A lot of the country again is suffering from a bit of snow. Where I am, we're right on the cusp of it. It could possibly snow. There's some sort of like clouds over there that are looking a bit snowbound. You know, I like to see it, but it's when it all melts and goes horrible. Anyway, a few little jobs again to do in the garden, and we'll put the camera down just to see if the blanket weed's going. I'm not expecting to see much change just yet, because I found with the Aquasource Resolve that I use, it normally takes about 10 days. You put it in, week goes by and you think nothing's happened, and then sort of like almost smack on 10 days you go in and it's like gone, disappeared. But obviously I'm going to do a filter clean and that, so I'll be able to tell if it is doing anything, because obviously there'll be a lot of sort of like dead blanket weed in the filters. But yeah, I'm not expecting to see much change just yet. So we'll have a little look at the fish in a minute, make sure they're all doing all right, and crack on with a couple of little jobs I've got to do. So, been a little bit busy. Put one coat of paint on the box where my dechlorinator is, and took the dog out for a walk. Done a bit of a hunter gathering, as they say. Picked up some pine cones, block of wood, the roll of bamboo I already have. Just down in the bottom there is 4-inch waste drain pipe I had in the garage. Cut a piece off there so hedgehogs, toads can go in through the back there. It's hollow behind the back. Should be nice and warm back there. Seen a hedgehog once in the garden, so but yeah, so they've got little hidey holes for the buggies and things. It just utilises 2-in-1, and it's what the wife wanted, so what the wife wants she gets, keeps her happy. So yeah, it's in there. And then in there, it's all done. Meter in there, I ain't attached yet. I've got to work out where I'm going to put that. But yeah, so hopefully that just stops things freezing up again. Now, in here, under here, is my skimmer. I'll just lift this up and show you. So there's my skimmer, putting water into there. In the bottom of the box here, I'll show you in a bit, is my pump, and that pumps underground all the way around up here, direct into my back of shower. So at the moment I've got foams and filter frost on the top. I'm after some kind of pre-filtration because I want to put more media in there. I could go another tier up, but it'd look a bit unsightly then. So now, I don't know if you've seen them, but you've got the new Tempest filters from Evolution Aqua. If you follow Quality Nishikoi, they've had them in their store for quite a few weeks now. They've been running 2 direct into the pond, and Dazzle Koi has just installed one as a trial. It was a prototype version that he managed to get from EA just as a trial. It's not a gift or anything like that, it's just a trial. So that's interesting. Let's get that out. yeah, so I thought, oh, that's interesting. Perhaps I could use one of those pre-filter. Seem to be stopping all the fines and that lot quite well. It wasn't until I'd done a bit more research and looking into them. And you can only put 5,000 litres an hour behind them through them, maximum. So obviously we all know backy showers need as much water you can put over them as possible. I'm taking about 11,000. Taking into account head height, so getting 11,000 litres an hour over my backy shower, not really enough, but it's, you know, it's working. It seems to be doing the job. So my original plan was to put a bead filter on. Now my only issue is it's the EA 20-inch one I'm looking at, which is ideal. It fit where I was thinking it'd go. The only issue being paid for the air source heat pump, and the bead filter's £1,000, something like that, so I can't really afford one at the moment. So that's what made me think of these filters that EA have brought out, the Tempest they're called. But the only way I can work and put 10,000 litres an hour through them is to double them up and do a split, or do a bypass on it. But if I'm doing bypass without any filter foam or sponges in there, then I'm just going to be pouring half the dirty water over the shower media, and that's what you don't want. That's the last thing you want over shower media is dirty water. It's got to be clean water. So so it looks like I'm going to have to wait unless anybody else has got any better ideas for what I can do. You know, like I said, I don't want to get rid of the foams and the filter floss because I want to add more ceramic media in there. I've, you know, got half a box in the garage, which fill up that top tier and increase my biological load for that because it's a little bit overstocked. But yeah, so if anybody's got any other ideas that I can use on filtering, pre-filtering the backy shower, let me know. Anyway, let's crack on.
So, as you can see, there's a skimmer box, and in the bottom there there's a pump. Skimmer box is made by ORZ, so pump sucks it in, and then you can see just there the pipe that goes out, that goes into a pipe underground. The top pipe there is just the overflow. Now it's got a basket, 10mm holes. But what I've done, if you can see there, is I've put a netting in, and that's because last spring, okay, then into summer, I found some newts that were stuck in the backy shower pipe over there. I went in there to clean it out, and there was a little tail sticking out the outlet holes, so I dismounted it, checked it out, and there was a couple of newts in there. Unfortunately they didn't survive, so to stop that happening again, I put this net in, and then hopefully they shouldn't be able to get through underneath into the outlet. So that's the reason I've done that. So yeah, that's why I'm after a pre-filter for this to the backy shower. So, but I'll talk about all that later on inside, because it's bloody cold to be out here now at the moment. So I was hoping to see how the blanket weed was doing after using the Aquasource Resolve, and also it's a good chance to have a little look at the fish, as you don't really sort of see them properly with the covers on at the moment. But as you can see, although it's still light outside, it's not what you call a bright sunny day, and it's not really showing up on the bottom there. It's quite dark to make out, so to me it looks like the blanket weed's still there, but that gives you a good view of how well if you look at the bubbles coming back up there and that, like, you can sort of see the spinning, so you can tell my circulation is, you know, spot on. There's good circulation in the pond. That's a good way to check. So if you've got good circulation, is just check your air bubbles coming out of your well, mine's coming out of my aerated bottom drain. But yeah, so I can't really sort of see the blanket weed, so I'll have to do it again at some point, and maybe rig up, well, wait for a sunnier day, or rig up some kind of light on the underwater camera. But all the fish seem to be doing well. everybody's looking fine and healthy, and don't seem to be any issues whatsoever. So I'm quite pleased with that. Still getting issues with the stones coming in, and I will get to the bottom of that. It's bugging me, but we shall find out eventually. When the covers are off, you only get the odd one or two fall in, but since the covers come on, it seems to be coming in by bloody the handful or something. But who knows? Anyway, sit back, enjoy the fish. Can't tell what the blanket weed's doing, as I said, which is a pain in the bum, but from what I can sort of just about make out, I reckon I might have to do another treatment. But I'll put the camera back down again and see what happens. It's around about now that the phone went with work, and I had to disappear into work rather quick, cut my weekend short, so didn't manage to sort of like finish what I was doing, and hence that's why I didn't post a video last week. Yeah, it got cut short last week, as I explained at the beginning of the video. But what difference the wheat makes. I was sort of saying last week as the temperatures have warmed up a bit, they've been sort of like up to sort of 14, 15 degrees, and then this last week just gone, it's just plummeted something stupid. I mean, look at this. Water butt. Listen. Frozen, absolutely flaming solid. Try and take the lid off for you. If that ain't frozen on. Yeah. Look. All the way through. Flaming rock hard. But anyway, rest of the garden is all taking a turn for the worse. Snowdrops, got to put them in. Mrs. went to try and water them out of the water butts and couldn't get no water out. Because believe it or not, even though it's winter, things dry out very fast. I don't know whether you heard the reports about some of the forest fires, but heath fires that are happening in winter because, like I say, you don't get no rain, and then the cold and the wind dries everything out just as bad as what a hot summer's sun can do. So it's something to watch out for in your gardens. But anyway, so yeah, box. You might try and get a sucking coat on that, but I don't think the temperature is going to be high enough for that, unfortunately. And obviously it's the wrong time of year for any life to move into my little insect hotel, as they call them. Air source heat pumps have been whirring away like nobody's business this week. But temperature's not getting above zero during the daytime, and can't expect any more than that. So we got 16.4 in the pond, 2.4 outside. Well, that's not outside temperature, as I keep saying, that's inside the box there, so it's going to be a little bit warmer in there. This one only goes down to 0, it don't go down any further. So what have I got? 2 degrees? I think it's a little bit colder than that. Well, the wind chill was definitely colder than that. But we had signs of spring starting to appear in the garden. Buds and shoots, we even had some flowers over here. Look down there, look, see some flowers coming out. But whether this cold spell's going to knock things back or not, I don't know. Just let the fish just before I came out with the camera. So, but we'll have a quick little look, see if they come up. So even though they've just been fed, the usual suspects are there, hanging around. I will start thinking about lowering the temperatures a little bit, just to give them a little bit of a winter. Cut the feed for a couple of weeks. Probably just not yet. Probably give it another week before I do that.
if I bother at all. There is an argument for it, and there's also arguments against it. So I think most people do tend to give their fish a bit of a winter if they can. I don't like to, because I want to try and keep my bacteria alive in the filters. But yeah, we'll stick the underwater camera down, see if the algae has gone. So it's gone over the 10 days now. Still a lot, considering I hoovered the stones up down there, there's still a lot down there. Don't know whether you can see with the glare. Yeah, see, look. God knows where they keep coming from. I know that, well, I've got it on the edges, but I don't know how they've been caught in. Unless you've got rats or something like that, who knows. So I definitely got a squirrel, that's for sure. Definitely had a squirrel. Saw him the other day. Having them moved around. I think it's because I've got some thieves up there in the bird feeder. I think he's coming up and trying to help himself to them. But as you can see, everybody's not looking too bad. So let's get the underwater camera down again.
So by the time I actually got round to putting the camera in, it was dark, which in some ways was a bit of an advantage. What I've done is I've got a waterproof light and attached it to the camera and put it in. And one thing I noticed watching the film back is at night time, if you put a light on, it shows you just how many fines you have actually got in your water. It's quite shocking, that is. So I'm gonna have to sort that out. During the summertime and that, you know, you put the camera down in like natural light, it's fine. But there you go, you can see the weed still there, which a bit concerning, like I said, because it can affect how sort of things are getting pulled down towards the bottom drain, because obviously it trap it in the hairs there. But you can see what I mean about all the stones and everything, where they're going to come from. I've got a big brush. I'm going to brush them all into a big pile and then hoover them all out again next weekend. And but yeah, so obviously the Aquasource Resolve hasn't managed to get rid of it this time round. Dino, if you're watching, take note. But that was the last of what I had, so I'm going to have to order some. I do know it works. I've used it in the summer and it does work, but obviously for some reason it hasn't worked this time round. You know, the temperatures are warm enough in the pond. I mean, that's really quite, you know, it's not measured long, but like I said, it can affect the way. It's not on the sides, it's just on the bottom, but it can, you know, trap fish waste and stuff like that, stop it from going down the bottom drain. But yeah, the light sort of lights up all the fines in the water. So if you want to see how much fines you got, stick an underwater camera down at night with a light on. But the fish are all sort of like a bit spooked by the light, you know, not coming close and having a look like they normally do when you put the camera in during the daytime. But yeah, so I have to get some more Aquasource Resolve and try again. Oh well, such is life. But yeah, it's definitely been parky these few days. Last week. I went to France for the first time since Brexit kicked in. Yeah, that was fun. 28 hours in Calais to clear customs. Getting over, not too problem. You know, stop, have your COVID test, drive on up to the tunnel, and you know, hand your paperwork over, get your paperwork check, go through all that, get over the other side, and then you've got to go to a customs clearance house, and yeah, so yeah, 27, nearly 28 hours waiting for the paperwork to be cleared. And not the first night over, second night over, I was down near a place called Chateau Dun, and that was minus 17. I know it's not as bad as what Scotland had. Some parts of Scotland had it a bit worse than that, but yeah, minus 17 at night. That was yeah, it wasn't very pleasant in a lorry, but night, yeah, wearing away full blast. But
The other two water butts are exactly the same as the other ones. In fact, this one's developed a little bit of a leak, which is going to happen because of the, but both absolutely flaming solid. Now, dentists. I'm going to have a quick moan about this. Got a bit of a toothache. I know I've got to have an extraction on my wisdom tooth coming down. At the back, it's pushing into one of the other tooths, causing a cavity as it's pushing down. So the dentist is aware of this. Made an appointment for the 4th of March, but the last 2 weeks I've had a raging toothache. Don't think I look swollen. Up to you lot, it's hard to say, can't tell. Maybe a little bit puffy on that side, but yeah. So for the last 2 weeks I've been trying to get to see a dentist. Absolute flaming waste of space. Like I say, got an appointment for the 4th of March, and every time I ring my dentist, oh no, that's it. No emergency spaces, no nothing. Ring the 111 service. You go through to the dental advisory service, and the dentist will ring you up and say, yeah, we're just doing triage over the phone. So, you know, what you're supposed to do. You know, absolute pain in the backside. So, just keep on with the ibuprofen and paracetamol. But, yeah, it's this COVID certainly making things a lot worse, isn't it? Anyway, gonna go in, do a bit of shopping, get dog food and all that sort of stuff, and I'll be back out and doing a bit of titivating. Not a lot happening really in the pond this week. I want to talk what I was touching on last week about pre-filtration for the backy shower, and you know what I can use, and also probably need a bit of help from you guys out there with my logo. I'm trying to sort of like up my logo. I had a few sort of like koi, not really that arty-farty really, and my computer's still steam driven, so playing around with graphics and stuff like that, not really getting anywhere. So I'll talk about that, see if any of you out there sort of like got a bit of spare time, can knock a couple of designs up for us. I'd appreciate it, but I'll talk about it in a bit. Alright, I'm going to go in. So yeah, so I said I was going to talk about pre-filtration, and what I'm going to do is talk about the new Tempest that's coming out. I've seen one, but I've not actually been able to trial one, but I'm just going to give you a bit of information about them, my personal opinion of what I think of them really, I suppose. You know, I can't give too much information on that sort of side of things, because like I said, I've not trialed one, but it's just what I'm thinking. It's come out, I mean, it's not a new idea. I mean, the idea's been around for many a year, but it's been sort of like guys making their own little systems, and sort of like the Dutch and the Germans have had them on their pond filtration systems for, you know, quite a few years. Basically what they're designed to be, is a polishing system. Basically have it after a filter, and it comes out and it just removes the fines. Now Evolution Aqua are claiming it can filter down to 1 micron, which, you know, if it's true, it's brilliant. Basically it's using the new K Plus media, which you've seen me put into the Nexus 220 in the outside. Great filter, great filter media, can't fault the stuff. So far, you know, I think it's absolutely brilliant. But we're, you know, how it'll work in the Tempest is another matter. Now they're saying that it can be used on a variety of setups and used as quarantine systems, or, you know, on quarantine systems, or as a standalone filter on smaller ponds up to about 5,000 litres, you know, just over 1,000 gallons. That's probably where I thought I might have an issue with it, of using it as a standalone filter. Now, if you've watched quality Nishikogoi. They've had them in their shop running on one of their ponds. They've been running 2 in parallel, or 2 in series, and returning straight to the straight into the pond. Now I think they're just using it as a polisher, you know, just to take out the really small fines, which is great. Yeah, I can see that working. Well, I've seen it working watching their videos. I see it working absolutely fine. But my issue is sort of like if you're using it as a standalone filter on a smaller pond or quarantine system, then you're actually going to be taking out fish poo, uneaten food and stuff like that, which is sticky, and as it goes up and it works its way into the media with the cleaning system, the way the Tempest works, which basically is you open up a valve and the water comes out, and as the water's coming out it's also letting air in, and it's sort of like there's bubbles. Like if you turn a Coke bottle upside down, fill a Coke bottle up with water, turn it straight upside down, just hold it, the water doesn't come out, it glugs out. You know, you get air bubbles going up, and that's what they're using to aerate the media. And I don't personally think that will be enough to sort of like clean out the heavy waste like fish poo and uneaten food. Fines, yeah, but that's, you know, just my opinion. You know, I'm possibly, you know, I could be proven wrong, and you know, I hope I am, but you know, we shall see. Now they sort of say on, if you fit one of these on the first sweep, as they call it, it can move particles down to 25 microns when used with the optimum flow rate in one sweep or one turnover of the pond. So if you've got a 10,000 litre pond, once you turn that over once, it will remove sort of like all of the 25 micron particles, and then on the next sweep it sort of goes down to sort of like removing all of the 10 micron particles, so on until you get down to the 1. Great. The other issue I have with it is the flow rate. The maximum flow rate is 5,000 litres an hour. So if you're sort of like looking at using it as a pre-filter or anything like that for your backy showers, then you're going to need to have 3, possibly 4 of them in series to get the flow you need to go over your backy shower. So it's going to end up being, you know, quite costly. I don't sort of see them sort of like, they do sort of like give various sort of like setups that you can use them for, sort of like returning straight back into the Nexus on this setup. So bottom drain into your Nexus, comes out your Nexus, bypass, you get a split, so it goes, part of it goes into the pond, part of it goes into the Tempest, and then down into the center of your Nexus again, and then goes round again. This one is on a bead filter, so you're going using the bead filter, which is the main filter, then coming out into the Tempest. Got a bypass so you can get more flow going straight into your pond, and the 5,000 litres into the Tempest and then back into the pond. And then there's a couple of standalone systems, and like I said, that's where I sort of see it might be in a bit of an issue using it as a standalone filter. As a polisher, yeah, I think, you know, it'd be great, but as a standalone, not 100% sure. And then sort of like on this here, it shows you how you can set it up as a, EA call it sort of like a modular, or you're setting them up in series, like you do with your car batteries and stuff like that. So it comes out of the pond, pump fed out of the pond into the filters. You've got a splitter, one going into one Tempest, one going into the other Tempest, up through the Tempest, out into a T-piece again, and a single return back to the pond. So that is a way of increasing your flow, but like I said, if you're sort of like thinking about a backy shower, or you're sort of like running sort of 20,000 litres an hour or something like that, then you're starting to get up to 4 tempests at a time. And this is the dimensions. So just over a metre long, 205 millimetres in width, so it's fairly wide, but it only holds, I think it's 7 litres of K plus media, so it doesn't hold a lot of media in there, but I mean obviously it's not a massive thing. Now Righty, for those of you who follow Righty, if you don't, have a look at his channel. Righty's just built his own version, which is a lot bigger, holds a lot more media and that seems to be working great so far. He's just done an update on it. He's just sort of like onto his Mark II, and he's automated his. So the clean, and he's actually using air to clean his rather than doing the patented sort of like valve that EA are using. He's actually put an airline into his. It bubbles it up as it's draining, so, and I think that's a bit more effective than the EA solution. His is a lot bigger, and I believe James the Koi Whisperer is building one, but he's only using 4-inch acrylic, 110mm 4-inch, and I think he might have a bit of a problem with that one on the cleaning side of things, because it is such a narrow tube. But who's he? Well, he just went through a few bits and pieces before he builds it, so it'd be interesting to see whether it works or it doesn't work. I mean, who knows? Anyway, hope it does. But yeah, so that's the dimensions of it. Now, cost. All right, you ready for this? Right, EA are putting it on the market, I believe, for £249 each. Ouch. Basically, if you have a look at one and you look at it, it is basically an acrylic tube with an inlet and an outlet and a slide valve on each. I mean, what a slide valve? It's not even a normal valve, and not in God, brain fart, can't think. Ball valve, that's what I'm trying to think of. It's not even a ball valve. So and again, if you're just putting the 5,000 through just as a bit of a polisher, great. If you're wanting to push more through, like I said, using it as a pre-filter for a backy shower, or you're pumping more through and you wanted it all to go through, and you start adding up into series, multiple ones, 3, 4, you're up to £1,000 for 4 of them. And like I said, hey, come on, think about it. It's a bit expensive. All right, I can understand research and development costs and all that, but yeah, I think just a little bit pricey for what it is. Let's sell, they sell plenty of them, and and it's whirring away in the head that I might get one, I might not, but I just think it's 100 and something would probably be better. 150, I think it'd be a fair price for what it actually is. I think 150 would be a fair price, not 249, 250 quid, nearest damn it. Or make your own. Watch Righty, watch James, watch a few other people, and make your own, and see what happens. But anyway, that's the Tempest. Just a quick view. Like I said, I haven't got one. I've actually felt one, picked one up and handled one, but I've not tried one, and that's just my own personal opinions, and I'll probably get slagged off for it, and because there'll be people out there who think there's the best thing since sliced bread, and they probably will be for polishing, but I just see a few faults, and for what EA say you can use them for, I just see a few faults on some of those things, and whereas other things, yeah, it'd be perfect for. But anyway, my logo. So it's my logo. Now, I like my logo, the way it's all done and that lot, but I just want to sort of like add a sort of like improve on it for, you know, a bit of merch or posterage or something like that, you know. So a couple of koi or symbols or anything like that. I'm not very good on the computery thingies, you know. Old person, you know. Give it to a 3-year-old. If it's anything electronic, give it to 3-year-old. Don't get me wrong, I love my gadgets. I really love my gadgets. But yeah, if anybody out there's got a bit of spare time, and don't, you know, enjoy playing around with things like that, you know, I appreciate it if you sort of like keep that logo as it is, the logo, but just sort of add it up, you know, maybe a couple of koi fish swimming around, you know, Japanese symbol, whatever, you know, just play around with some different ideas and send them off to us, you know, if you don't mind, that is, you know, you don't have to. Like I said, just anybody out there who's into that sort of thing. I don't know where to start myself personally, but there you go. But like I say, you know, I'm not a technophobe, I just haven't got the know-how, but, you know, I do enjoy some of my gadgets, and that brings me on to another thing. Digital pond monitoring systems, like Blue Lab and Senai, and there are a few cheaper versions out there, but I've read up on them, and they've not been getting very good reviews, some of these cheaper ones. But anybody use them? And if you do, what do you think of them? As you all know, and as you can see right now, lorry driver, means being away from home quite a bit. And I've got my cameras so I can sort of like see my pond, but I can't keep an eye on my pond settings as if I was home all the time like I could do. You know, do my weekly pond checks, but you know, my lovely lady wife, she does her bit, you know, looks after the fish, lets me know if there's any problems she can see. I've got the Wi-Fi unit for the air source heat pump, so I was just toying with the idea of maybe sort of like putting one of these digital monitoring systems in, but like I said, not 100% sure about them, whether they're worth the money or not, or whether they work. So if any of you guys out there are using them and you think they're the best thing since sliced bread, let me know which one you got, how it works, and you know, whether you consider what you paid for it was worth the money or not. All right, guys, so close it for that this week. Like I say, apologies for last week again. It's just one of them things, so you get called into work last minute. Somebody had to self-isolate, so you know, it's understandable you have to jump in at the last minute. Life gets in the way sometimes. Anyway, hope you're all well, hope you stay safe. Just want to say big thank you to all my subscribers, well over the 800 mark now, heading towards that 1000. If you haven't subscribed, and a lot of you viewers haven't subscribed, just hit the bell, just hit the subscribe button. Don't cost you nothing, free of charge. Once I get to that big 1000, remember the giveaway. Like I said, I'll be giving away a Hannah pocket checker of your choice to one lucky winner who answers a couple of questions. So you got to be subscribed to be in it, so you know, hit the subscribe button. All my old subscribers and the regular people I speak to, thanks very much for your support. It really is appreciated, and I'm enjoying some of our conversations we're having, and you know, consider making myself some friends through this. So everybody stay safe. You know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but let's not get carried away with it too early. All right, guys, see you soon. Stay safe. Bye bye.